Hey folks, I wanted to reach out to all our Drive Thru History followers and remind you that it's very important to stay active during this time of quarantine. Home fitness is exploding, to the point that it's leading to a shortage of dumbbells and hand weights in sporting goods stores. Now, as a history guy, this piqued my interest. When something disappears, it makes me wonder how it began in the first place. The concept of a dumbbell was first introduced some 2,000 years ago by the ancient Greeks, who invented a piece of equipment called a halter, basically a crescent-shaped stone with a handle used for lifting. Ancient Greek athletes would often use halters in the long jump. By swinging the halters, the weight would help propel them off the ground when they jumped, so they would go further. Seems like a perfect way to rip your arm out of socket to me, but what do I know? I've rarely competed in the Olympics, and when I do, I wear clothes. Now, how did dumbbells get their name? Well, that's a pretty interesting story. The word dumbbell may have originated in Tudor England. Athletes used handheld church bells to build muscle in their upper arms. These bells could be a few ounces all the way up to many pounds. As you might imagine, swinging them up and down would be noisy. They're bells. So athletes would remove the clappers so they could lift quietly. So the words dumb, as in no sound, and bell came together to form dumbbell. Right now, I don't have a halter or a dumbbell, but I do have a small Maltipoo named Maggie, and she makes for an excellent hand weight for working out. Especially since my kids feed her table food and she keeps getting heavier as I get stronger. So it's working out pretty well. Okay, so this is basically your basic bench press. This is your basic server biceps with a lunge. This was just called the Lion King. French press. Yeah, good girl. You might be asking, Dave, how did you get so good at the art of animal lifting? And the answer to that question is seen ever so briefly in this fun clip from our recent Peru episode in Drive Thru History Ends of the Earth series, where I discovered how light an alpaca can be. Okay, so it was a baby alpaca. Cusco is an amazingly colorful and vibrant city filled with some of the friendliest people in the world.
Gracias. Coca leaves.
After arriving, I needed food, so luckily I found myself in a bustling local marketplace. I decided to avoid the cuisine I didn't recognize and instead went with a loaf of bread the size of a wagon wheel. I knew bread this size needed one thing, a hunk of cheese the size of a cinder block. I was one happy camper.
Gracias.
So I'm walking the streets of Cusco, Peru, and I've come across these wonderful people. They have a baby alpaca and a baby llama. And I'm gonna teach you the difference. Getting a little bit aggressive. A llama, there's a baby one right here, has a longer neck and a longer face. Llama, longer. Get it? Chew each bite at least 20 times. An alpaca has a shorter neck and a shorter face. Things are like more packed in. Look, I never said I was an animal expert, okay? They're so adorable and they're really light. Check this out. Look at that. So light. I think I'll give you to my son, and I think I'll give you to my daughter. Are they for sale? Can I buy the baby llama and baby alpaca? Do you gift wrap? Okay, that's it, folks. Thanks for watching this totally ridiculous coronavirus edition of Drive Thru History. I'm Dave Stotts. One of these days, I'm going to work up to a Mastiff or a Newfoundland, but definitely not ready for that yet. The Maltipoo works just fine. Come on, girl, let's go.